The power of the restart. Okay. Um, yes, welcome in. It's a special Saturday night stream. What are we doing? What are we doing? It's Saturday night. It is Saturday night during a pandemic, so this is as exciting as it gets. So thank you guys for dropping in. Um, Thank you for the bits, superhero swimmer art. Clay. Is this your senior year or have you already graduated? I'm sorry if I lost track, but I do feel for the people. I'll wait for Clay to answer. Um, you already graduated, correct? You graduated last spring. Are you checking your calendar? You don't know? Can't answer quickly. Tell me about it, Michael Stead. We're all paying for services that we're not getting full value out of, and for sure, education is definitely in there. Wolfie Poo has resubbed for 34 months. Daniel J. Bosco, Tooth, Voodoo Magic 5, Jake C16, BW 2209, Poop Kid, one of our mods, Tom Suck 9, Cartoon Jack Comics. That was a long time ago. But anyway, Good Horatio, El Hollow Nose have all subbed using Prime. Um, so thank you guys for that. I am drinking Yellow Edition Red Bull. Not a sponsor, but once you start drinking this stuff, you get a taste for it, and it's hard to let go. Hello, proper artist. Welcome in. All right, so tonight is a special stream. We're doing this for charity, so if there are any donations, so Superhero Summer Art had donated some bits. Maybe I will, if any of the mods are on this. Oh, we see Crispy Egg Roll here. Poop Kids in the house. We got Crispy here and PK in case you need introductions. It's super early in the morning. It's like 3 in the morning in Switzerland, 2 in the morning. I don't think Kirihiko is going to join us. She's the mod prime. But anyway, there is no stream tomorrow. W really. I have a higher power. I have to answer to the boss tomorrow, and it's my wife. And so we've got a special Valentine's Day activity planned. Um, Gute Nacht, or Guten Abend. The Doria 2302. You should be going to bed. But anyway, Aegon the Conqueror, for sure. 100%. So tonight is a special stream. All bits, and you know what? Actually, there's also a link. If one of the mods can copy this and kind of periodically post it in chat, we're raising money tonight for BINC. It's the Book Industry Charitable Foundation. And it's an organization I've been working with for almost a year, and with the goal of raising money for comic book shops in need during this pandemic. Certainly at the start of it, a lot of shops were closed down. I think most of them are probably open for business or curbside business or delivery or whatever. So I think they're mostly in business, but still, it's challenging because I'm sure everyone's business levels were impacted, and so the bank has been able to raise a ton of money for a very good cause. In fact, DC donated 250,000, and we're up to over 1.1 million dollars, which is pretty fabulous, I think. But more to come. All right, so tonight we're gonna I'm gonna draw on this PS5. I don't even know what it's called. Sideplate. It's plastic. And I've drawn on weird surfaces before. This is slightly it's plastic, right? So plastic is tricky to draw on. But I've drawn on motorcycle helmets, which has full enamel. That was probably the hardest. I've drawn on plastic models, shoes. I've drawn on drum sets, very challenging. A lot of different things. And I did do a test You can't even see the test, but I put a line here with a marker, and it's a permanent marker, normally on paper, but you can rub it off on this. So you have to be super tricky because it will beat KDs. Did you do anything to prep the surface? I did not. I thought about getting fixative and spraying it. That might have made a difference. There is a little bit of a tooth to it, so I think if I just draw from here and move down this way so I don't smear it, because I will definitely be able to smear it. You will smear it with your hand. I should be okay. And then at the end, I've got a matte varnish or semi-gloss that I will spray, and that will keep it and fix it so that, you know, doesn't smear. All right, so that said, we are running behind. So Nova Primex, thank you very much for the bits. We got the first 100 bits in. Appreciate that. Anyway. I should go. So this whole idea was kind of brainstormed by me and a gentleman named Greg Miller, Greggy. He's at Game Over Greg, I think. You know, I should know these things. Let me just make sure I have the proper shout out. Yeah, Game Over Greggy. At Game Over Greggy with 3 G's. Greggy on Twitter. And so I guess he saw some sort of version of this where I think a kid had drawn some scribbles on there, and he posted that image online and said, "Hey, Jim, you think you could do this?" And I said, "I can definitely draw those scribbles." But then we were talking via email and had this idea where he would send me this plate, and I would draw on it, and then he would raise money for Bink, which he did. I think they raised about $5,700. And then I told him I would stream the creation of the art so that we can further monetize this idea. So thank you very much for the bits. All these bits, it's, I get, yeah, I get the full bits, I think. Amazon takes their cut before I get the bits. So I can just track the bits, add it all up, and donate to Bink. All right, let's do it. Oh, there's go. Kind of Funny Games is here. Thank you. Good to see you guys. Support Bink at kindoffunny.com/JimLee. Yeah, even better. I like that. Let's use that, boys and girls. Let's use that as the link to donate money. Now, here's the problem. Because it's slick, there's no point. Like, I can't erase. I can erase. I will just erase the ink. So I can't do pencils, ink it, and then erase the pencils, which is what you would normally do, like on paper, right? So I have to kind of draw and not make mistakes. Luckily, I'm a professional. It's no problem. Oh, boy. I feel sorry for Greg. He raised all this money, and he's going to get something that who knows what it's going to look like at the end. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, we'll see what happens. So we were talking, and he wanted Superman. He's a huge Superman fan. So who am I to deny Greg, who is a fine human being and all around good sport, very entertaining. Definitely follow him online. And let me look. Here, I'm going to do something here. I'm going to look for the inside of PS5. I'm doing little, what they call, kids, research. Adults, what we call procrastination. All right, so I am looking at images of the inside of a PS5, and I see a large fan with circular shapes. That's no good. I don't like that. I'm looking for a circuit board looking thing. Wow, it looks a lot like... It It looks a lot like the Mr. Operation game, you know, where you stick the little forceps in and pull out the plastic bones, and if you hit the edges, it buzzes up. So there's like a circuit board on the other side. It's actually much more basic than I thought. I was expecting something full on like Star Wars, Alien like, with all sorts of, not the first movie Alien, which was funny because it had like CRT tubes, cathode ray tubes, like, you know, so or it's like the first Star Wars movie, right? It's like an 8-bit monitor with like a little screen. And then years later, they had to figure out a way to reconcile that technology with modern day technology, make it look like it was purposely done in that very kind of simple graphic, which was cutting edge at the time, right? So, Surgery Station, that's what it's called? I don't know. I don't know what that sounds like, something in Singapore or some other country. We called it Operation Man, right? I don't know, something like that. All right, so Ken Crawley, 2004. How do you evolve and change with your artwork over the years as time goes by? Well, I try to do that, but honestly, it's a lot of work. It's just easier to do a big project and then wait a bunch of years for new fans to come in, and then they see your stuff and go like, "Oh, this is really cool." No, no. So the answer is, you know, you got to be open to influences, right? You got to be open to things that move you emotionally, and so I do feel like my style has changed over the years. Some might call that evolution, like your work has gotten worse. But others might say it's gotten more realistic. I don't know what that means because nothing I draw looks really realistic. Or at least that's what my wife tells me all the time. All right, okay, here. All right, so all right, we're getting some. Thank you, KP Conspiracy. All right, so Charlie Parks, Revenge Sinister, Borko, Jackie Chai Ducktran, and Jushin 15. Sponed, Angry Panda 888, have all Sustainiac, Rasto 215, Arkham Unhinged, Galahad Live, Punker 13, have all subbed and support this are supporting the stream. Charlie Parks as well. Thank you, Charlie. And then Jorge 4277, Daniel J. Bosco, Maximum Moistness, and have all cheered with bits. Thank you very much. All right, so I've got a 505 micron. This is what I'm going to use to draw this. So what I was going to do, maybe I will do some pencils. I'll just be really careful and be super. I'm thinking it's going to look like this. I see a hand here. Maybe it will be more of a multimedia piece, which is a fancy way of saying it's neither fish nor fowl, which is a fancy way of saying it's going to look like a bunch of different styles. In the name of art, I'm giving you guys some pointers for you younger people. You can say, you know, this is not a half-ass, a half attempted piece. I was going for multimedia. Your teachers will be impressed. You know, it's like you draw it and then you tear it in half and then you paste it over an image and then you splatter some stuff and say like, yeah, I know we were supposed to do a painting or a drawing of a vase or still life fruit or something, but this is what fruit means to me. This is the feeling I get from eating too much fruit, and you can just whatever. All right, so I am penciling. I don't know if you guys, yeah, you can see that. Look at that. Okay, it's weird to start with an arm like this. I really should start with a face, but I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, Greg is here, and he's generously donated so much money. I thought this through all week long, exactly what I was going to do, and it's just coming out exactly the way I imagined it to be. Right? Kinda? Well, that's weird. Okay, hold on. Ooh. Normally I don't talk to myself when I draw. I just kind of break out in a cold sweat. but that doesn't look so good on stream. So redeem my highlight for message. Will I be Crispy Papa's Valentine? I feel like it's a weird, look at that. So now when I erase, see how that smudges like that? Okay, so when you do that, and the same thing happened when I drew on a motorcycle helmet, is I'm going to use the smudging to my benefit. So there will be things that will be smudgy, again, towards this multimedia kind of expression of this. So what I was going for is like, could he be bursting through classic Superman Kool-Aid style? And then behind it, you would see like the circuit boards of the PS5 inside, like he's breaking, you know. And then what I could do, really, just watch Greg's mind explode, is maybe take a Bunsen burner or a screwdriver and hack a hole. No, then he wouldn't. I was gonna just put a hole around the figure so you could actually see it. Yeah. Superhero summer art, just don't erase. I'm just erasing so you guys feel good. It's always like people have said, like, oh, it makes me feel good that someone like you also erases so much. You know, it makes me feel better about my own artistic struggles. And I said, like, you know, I only erase to make you feel good. I normally when I work, I just I have like half asleep, one eye open, and it just flows out, right? Anyway, I will be all your Valentines, Crispy Papa included. Okay. All right. So enough talking. Talking slows me down. I can draw and talk, but talking does slow me down. Okay. He's smiling. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Hair. All right. What about all the space up here, Jim? I don't know. You're good point. So that was a good, what we call first pass. I will also say I noticed drawing on the side of batteries, on the side of drums. I was going to go with the Italian word batterista. That's where battery came from. That when you erase like this, it actually takes some of the surface oils or shellac or whatever it's called off the surface, and it does make the ink stick better, right? So, all right, okay. I don't know about the flying thing. Let me think about this. Is this on the left or right? Is this, does the logo go to the back or the front? Does anyone know? The right. So if it's the right, wait, people are giving me the wrong back. Back. Okay, so this is the left side, not the right side. Sergeant Stiglitz. Logo's on the front. Yeah, I know it's on the front, but like, yes, it's on the left side. Left panel, logos. Yes, Mr. Swift. Thank you. Wow. Okay, Canalith. Maximilian Dude, hello. Good to see you again. The fam is doing great. Thank you for asking. Good to see you. Thank you for subbing. I appreciate it. Lightar Gaming. Yes. Wow. Who is this character? Are you asking about me, moi, or Superman? Superman. All right. Sinestra. Links. Links die Ecke. There's not a lot of German I remember. Well, you know, I was going to have him fly again, but I'm thinking also, like, what if he's here and he's just, like, emerging from the rubble? I've drawn Superman a lot. So, what would look kind of cool? I don't know. I thought I was going to do him flying, bursting through, and you can see the circuits of the PS5 behind him. But then I'd have all this like empty space around, and because I would want to preserve the illusion that he was busting out of the PS5. But now I'm thinking, just do Uh, yeah. You know what? Let me think about this. I got an idea. So I had a plan coming into this, albeit not a great plan, but just full transparency. And but now I've got this other idea. Okay. You know, because like I was thinking, I could draw Superman like hunched over, like power mode. And I've done that before. I've done it a lot. So, but I want to give Greg like the full artist experience. And you guys know what that means, right? So I want to give him the full experience, and that means I want to create something that is unique to him somehow. In the dog zoo, yes, that's exactly Killer Kovacs. What? um, Turpin Turple Twitch. Have him hold a controller. Yes, that would be. Draw Greg as Superman. Well, but if you're a Superman fan, I don't know if you want to. So I was gonna put Greg, like a bunch of weird little Greggies. All right, so I Googled Greg, and he's got a. I'm not great with likenesses, but because he's so expressive, like an animated figure, and he's got those glasses, I could do like they're almost like little minions. So it's like Superman's on a uh, weird planet with you know game over Greggies, like, and so here's one in the foreground, right, and here's another one. I don't know if Greg is like I am, just for the record, I'm not. I have not drank anything today. I am like I'm fully here. uh yeah, no, yes. Greg did beat cancer. So Greg is Superman. Uh Draw Superman carrying Greg with his dog Portillo. I'm not so great at drawing dogs either. Um yeah. Um so all right, here we go. Greg is the multiple man. That would be a different universe, but thank you for playing. Do I have to Google his dog? All right, let me Google it. Hold on. If it's like if I can express the dog as like a big, like Pac-Man shape or a hairy fuzzball shape with eyes, great, great. But let's see what his dog looks like, and then I will give you my Portillo. I see the thing, something on Twitter. Portillo pooped on me during the PS5 ... I hope not on this. It smells okay. Oh, his dog is a dachshund. Huh. I should be able to draw that. It's usually the legs that kind of. Maybe his dog is like some weird creature. Like, you can make things easier to draw by making them something else. Right? So maybe his dog. That is some sort of. I see something where he's got a tuxedo, which is kind of interesting. Okay. All right, I see a drawing of a dog. Okay. That doesn't really quite capture his eyes. It's kind of got sad eyes. There we go. What am I doing? I don't know. So this would be called the brainstorming phase of a drawing. I've probably expend about 30 minutes. Thank you very much, Metabolic. Where you want to be open to every idea possible, because you don't like, you gotta work your way through a piece, right? And with this dog, nah, what would he have cyber arms? Or like, is that too weird? He looks sad though. Maybe he's got a big helmet like this. Sure. KF Raid coming in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome, Raiders. How come? There we go. Kind of funny games. Rated with 1,937 folks. Welcome in. Good to see you, Greg. Welcome in, guys. It's been a while since we've been rated. Although we had a small raid, I think, a week or two ago. But this is very sizable. Thank you very much. Very cool. Lodos has cheered 1,000 bits. Thank you very much, Lodos. I really appreciate your generosity. All jokes aside. And now I'm trying to draw this portillo. Does that mean gate? Gate in Italian? Is that what that means? Can someone answer very quickly? It means hot dog? It's a hot dog chain. Like on this earth? It means burrito. Doesn't burrito mean burrito? Portillo, like the restaurant, Portillo, if it's Spanish, but if it's Italian, it'd be Portillo. Nice. Oh, I feel like there's a lot going on right now. Okay. 1 second, let me see where we're at. Oh, did someone know? How does this work? My math's not so good. We got rated with 1,937. We're up to 4,200. I don't think I'd started with that many people. All right. Is it Italian or is it Spanish? I don't know. Okay. Let's okay. So I've got I've got Superman here. Here's his head. Multimedia piece. You guys know what that means, right? Okay, shoulder one. He needs another shoulder there too. So look, if you just really build a drawing thinking about keep track of the number of shoulders, the number of heads, 1, 2 shoulders, 2 pecs, 8 abs, in my case 16. It's just mathematically keep track of it. It actually makes drawing a lot easier. It kind of demystifies it, right? So instead of drawing a figure, I'm just drawing 2 shoulders, right? And Daniel J. Bosco, that's a viewing record. Daniel, one time, like when I used to like stream very late at night, someone came in with like 12,000 people. I mean, this is a huge raid. This is probably the second biggest raid, but there was one weird raid. It was like a ton, but it was like 4 or 5 in the morning or something. Someone was streaming, and then but they had rated the wrong stream. That's what they discovered. They were like, "Oh, we thought you were James L. Lee," so they all left. Anyway, okay, so belt there. One arm there. Abiana, we love you more. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Slightlier door. That's mean. Yes, that is mean. Wrong stream. Man, that'd be funny if everyone like wrote in chat like, "Oops, wrong stream." I thought we were going elsewhere, and then the number count would plummet. Anyway, Drive Shaft, thank you very much for the cheers, the bits. Christian Hall 25 has subscribed. Thank you very much for the support. David Portnov has been super generous, gifting 5 subs to various random people in stream. So thank you very much. Very, very kind of you. Thank you, Geeks World Gaming. Always one. There's always one in the bunch. That was a rhetorical ask or statement. I don't even know what that means. All right. So you guys can see that it is what I would call almost done, right? Aegon the Conqueror. No, this is Jim Lee, the weightlifter. Wait, what's going on? I've got a lot. Something right here is not liking anything. There we go. All right. There's always something yellow, and it's picking up. How's that look? That looks better. All right. Okay. Portillo. No. Yeah, Portillo. Right? Spanish would be Portillo. Yes. See? Draw a foot, I dare you. K-Man creates. Mod, can someone please kick that person out of chat? It's okay. You can stay. No, kick him out. No, you can stay. No, get rid of him. He's a troublemaker. Okay. All right. Portillo. How could it be Portillo? Portillo. I'm just going to draw the foot right here. All right? Just know it's there. It'll be right next to the Roku, which will be there later. All right, there you go. Happy now? Happy now? Yes. It's the restaurant owner's last name. He must be Italian then. If it's Spanish, it's Portillo. Yes? Yes. See? Not a blank person. Correct. See? Yes. Burrito. Yes. If it's Italian, Jim Lee, it's not Spanish. Okay, so it's Italian. Portillo. It's not Portillo. It's Portillo. You got to pronounce both L's. You guys are getting me started. All right. Portillo. Yes, it's a E. Yes, cinematic. Yes, the I is pronounced E, and E is pronounced E. It's true. A is pronounced ah. Ah, E, O, U. That's A-E-I-O-U. Is it a hot dog place? Is that what you guys are saying? Is it not Gorilla? No? This language is very confusing. You guys are really... It's American. It's American. It's a hot dog place. The Italians are known for their hot dogs. Isn't it a German invention? The Frankfurter? Oh, sub count is now negative. What is going on? Follower count. If we've dipped below 0, is that even possible in a stream? Should he have a hot dog in his hand? Tizio, qualunque, calunque, no, calunque. Yes, yes, yes. I need someone to say no, because I meant that rhetorically, and I'm going to use that word a lot today, because it's just basically a way of saying I didn't really mean to say it in a intellectual way. Chicken wings in his hands. Chicken wings. Chicken wings. Chicken wings. What? Chicken wings are hot dogs. You guys. Oh my gosh. Um, both. All right. So he's got like a hot dog, and he's trying to save it from all these Gregs and Portillo, Portillo. Sorry, I'm just practicing. Portillo. Suo nome è Portillo. Il cane. Il nome del cane è Portillo. Is that right? Just call him Porty. Okay, good, good, good. Otherwise, this will go on for a long, long, long time. In the dog's Jim, stop. You can't speak. That's why I'm practicing. This is the last hot dog, chicken wings. So, Charlie Parks has cheered. Please tell my wife getting me the Lego Batwing was a good idea for Valentine's Day. Whatever floats your boat. That's what I say. Hot dogs are more iconic. Also, easier to draw. If I draw what looks like a chicken wing, you're going to be like, what the heck is that small little chicken leg in his hand? A hot dog is instantly recognizable to our global, increasingly global audience. So Greg named his dog after a restaurant that sells hot dogs that he loves to eat. Okay. We had a dog. She unfortunately passed away just recently, but her name was Nobu, named after, yes, the Italian man who started the famous taco restaurant. Anyway, isn't that cannibalism? Porty is a wiener dog. Yes, yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to, it's kind of funny, right? I'm trying to lean into the theme, as the kids say. Lean in. All right. Here, I'm gonna draw the foot for the people that are really on me about. Oh crap! I ran out of room. Oh well. Yes. Yeah, Maronar. Yes, this guy has all the jokes. Yes, yes. Look, I could just be silent and draw. Oh wait, wait. I don't want to hear everyone go, yes, please. Whatever. Porty is our king, yes. Is there a link to Greggy? There should be a link to how you raise, if you want to donate money to Bink, there should be a link, you know. Okay. Let's get a... Thank you very much, KB Bradshaw, for the bits. Charlie Parks, JJ Whiskies, Drive Shaft 108, and Brian Denham, thank you for the sub. Okay. Keep being KF. KF. What does KF mean? KF. I know what AF means. Action figure. KF. What is KF? KF. Kind of funny. I like to put a little DNA in everything I do. It's the old school version of blockchain, right? You can do a test on the art and you will find out the genetic DNA that powered this drawing. Love from Canada. Good seeing you. Thank you. TB TD Benz. Is there a chance you go on one of the Kind of Funny shows? Sure. Why not? What else am I going to do during quarantine? Hello from Poland. Wow, Limner81. It's super late there. Thank you for joining us. All right. So we've got a bunch of Gregs. Okay. And then this Greg here will be like, he'll be like, oh my gosh. Yeah, Greg should be shirtless. Yes. But then I have to draw all like the chest hairs. I've seen those pictures. That takes time. I don't know if my budget allows for all that. Okay. Okay. I thought I was going to just draw this super clean without any pencils. What do I know? Exactly. Oh, you know what? They're going to be throwing all these little Gregs are going to be throwing feet. Is this getting weird? Tell me if it's getting weird, because I don't want to do anything that's weird. Boink. Not weird enough? You're probably right. So here's this is my best one right there. Like that's gonna be that's my concept art for GOG, Game Over Greggy. For GOG, distant relative Magog, as you guys know. Some of you. Does anyone know Magog? It's got to be the Grabbler logo. There's so much stuff I need to know. Needs tentacles. The Purple Gale. What are you working on? Preserving my sanity. How am I doing? Yes, WandaVision has been entertaining me, yes. What? Have the chest hair in the shape of a Superman symbol. He starved it into the Batman. He carved it into the Batman symbol on stage. Yes, yes. Geek World Gaming. Don't listen to these people. They're gonna make it too weird. I hear ya. I know what you're saying. Chat be cool. I like that. Unbully Bubble. What will you color the plate with? Uh, just ink. You know. So Welcome back, Poser Tuttle. Dylan and fam, what am I? It's Yellow Edition Red Bull. They didn't think about that when they created it. It's like, hey, someday we might make other editions that are different colors. No, no, no. Let's call it Red Bull. Are you sure we should just call it like Wings That Make You Fly, or the Bull, or Liquid Bull? That way we can do Red Bull, Yellow Bull, Green Bull, Blue. No, Red Bull. Okay. So what are you drinking? I am drinking Yellow Edition Red Bull. Tizio Qualunque. I'm sorry, I'm mangling your name. You live in Reggio? It wasn't 10 years ago, Tizio. That was 18 years ago, 19 years ago. Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's get started. Let's get started on the drawing. I'm just like goofing around. None of this. This is like the net underneath trapeze artist, and so if it allows me to make the jumps I need to creatively, and realize that if I fail, I still have something to fall on. How's that work as an analogy? What are you guys feeling? You guys feeling that one? You guys like, yeah, pencils are the... No. Okay, they're not. Okay. Big Boss 138. This is actually the PS5 shell that I made with my own 3D printer. Now, I took like 100 sheets of very thin paper and glued them together to create this, and then I die cut that out. But game over Cholo. This guy is like legit. Kyle Fed done. I wonder how the shell will pick up thing. That's a good question. I don't know either. Goose MT, thank you very much for the 100 bits. Thank you for all of your talent and imagination. Your art drawings and stories have helped me and so many people, so I just want to say thank you. Well, thank you very much. It's very kind of you. I appreciate you cheering and passing along some positive thoughts, unlike this very toxic chat. I love you guys. I'm kidding. Valentine's Day. Trendkill CF8 has subbed. Thank you. Dylan Smith 8 has subbed. Omni Night T with the E. Obviously very French. Omni Night. Golf Boy Sunday has subbed 29 months. Can't get enough of the dad jokes. Anyway. Yes. Portillo needs a crown. Look at this. Okay. I never take comments from the chat. Well, sometimes. Okay. Happy now? No, 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 no. Greg's favorite show is The Crown. You got to do Queen Elizabeth's crown from episode 4. Come on, Jim, please. I'm trying to keep everyone happy. Porty is our king. That's what we need for our chat. We need like a mascot. We have a crispy egg roll, but we need something cuter, like a dog. Trendfill CFH. Didn't realize you stream. If you call this streaming, then I stream. Yes, but Poop is cute. Yeah, we could. Yeah, Poop. Fecal boy. Yes, fecal lad. Thing is, I've got 5 dogs. That's the crazy thing. I've got 5 dogs, and so you think I would figure out a way to monetize them, merch them, like. But I'm allergic to dogs and cats, and we've got 1 cat. So again, you know who runs this household, and so it's a little hard for me to interact with them. Meaning I sleep in one bedroom in this house, and then they run freely all around. Um, no, I interact with them as much as I can. I just have to wash my hands afterwards. All right, how are we feeling? It almost looks like it's laser etched or something. It's looking a lot darker on the screen. Should he be eating? Should Superman be eating? Greg's like going, no, you guys are ruining everything. All right. He loves Nutter Butters. I'm learning everything about Greg. How do you guys know so much? My stream just knows my cranky side. I do like a good Taco Bell, right? His entire life is broadcasted. I'm actually tightening up the pencils because I am concerned that I won't be able to erase. I will be able to white out, but it's white out, and this is not white. This plate is gray. It looks like a Pantone 4028 or 25. Greg shares a lot. Yeah. Put Greg sucks hashtags, but don't make it notice like splunch milk. Some people are not having it. Not having it. But when you say like he loves Nutter Butters, and I like Nutter Butters too, but sometimes your taste can change over time, but then you get stuck like for a while I used to like smoke cigars, and then people would bring me cigars. I don't smoke cigars really anymore. Or even Cheez-Its. I think one time I was like just into Cheez-Its, and then people start bringing me Cheez-Its. I don't really eat Cheez-Its anymore, right? So I wonder if Greg really still eats Nutter Butters, or he's now stuck to it because he made it such a big deal. Now he's got to like he's kind of stuck with this the story that he's put out there. Put KFAF. Kind of funny. What is AF? Action figure? What? I see that a lot online. AF action figure. As Anne Frank. Anne Frank? No. Oh, full disclosure, the Nutter Butter thing is a joke. Oh, okay. Even better. All right, you guys, I know I look like a very straightforward. I'm trolling you. I'm trolling you. Stop cursing in stream. There are kids here. Crispy egg roll. Poop kid. We have to be kind to our mods. They're very sensitive chaps. All right. Okay, I think I don't know what else I could do. This is one of the trickier angles to draw a head from. And once you learn it, though, like it's like, wow, that's cool. I can now do this. All you have to draw is the back of the ear. And the chin line goes down. And then you draw the brow. Hint at the brow. Come out and hint at the cheek. Come down here to the chin. And then you just stick the nose in like that. And then you put like an eyelash sticking out. And then the hairline goes here like this. And now I'm looking behind this person's head. You got to learn this. And then the glasses go like this. And then if he's yelling, you can kind of. That doesn't look like he's yelling. Okay. Start with the ear, the gurns. That is the secret. And then just really like carving out that line. It's like a it's like a it's like a lightning bolt. Right? So I guess that foot's just going to stay there. Yes, that foot is going to stay there. Yes, yes. That's why I drew it. Everything is intentional. All right, this thing. You know why there's not many people drawing on PS5 plates online? All right. That's why. uh, all right. Oh, I'm sorry, Greg. It's, the super glue should glue that back into shape. I think it should be all right. All right. So I'm going to take this marker and we're going to draw. Thing is, I really should draw. I want to draw here, but I have to start here. Okay. All right. So can someone verify in chat? Does he actually like butternutters or not? Or is it an inside joke that like you say he likes them, but he doesn't really? No. Okay, great. But he'll understand if I draw a butternutter. Yes. Okay, great. I could try to draw Oreo, but it won't read like an Oreo. It will look like a black disc. But Nutter Butters, look at that. Right? All right, here we go. Get ready for the Kim Jong-gi. No, it's not. I wish. I was going to start drawing here and just like all this stuff would just show up. Anyway. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Look at that. It works. Anyway. Can I tell you, one of the things I really do enjoy drawing, unlike animals, are like robots and mechanoid type creatures and stuff. It's actually very relaxing to just, because they don't have to look like anything. They just have to look mechanical, right? I need to look at a butternutter. I don't know if the grain on the butternutter is diagonal, 45 degrees. Oops, sorry, Greg. Anyway, I just need to edit that part out. VZA in the house? No, he's not. Okay, all right. Yeah. Okay. Butternutters. Yes. Oh, it didn't smear. That's all I really care about. Okay. Did you know that butternutters, it's actually pretty wavy? All right. So let me ask you guys, the ones that watch Greg stream about his life, are you guys mostly into games? Is that the thing that kind of unifies you guys? or hot dogs. What, what's the commonality that binds you all together? Mostly video games. Nerd culture in general. Got it. Man, I don't know if that looks like a butter nutter. It looks like a bottom of a shoe. I really should have asked him to send me more than one plate. PSVR Trooper. I've been following Greg for like 10 plus years, so I'm invested in him. LOL. That's cool. Okay. Um, these are telescoping fingers. That's why that one's longer than this one here. So I gotta do that to make it look like I did it on purpose. Tricks of the trade. Explain it all in through the art. So I got to be careful. Like I'm establishing the style of this robot. Like, is it going to be organic, or is it going to be cylindrical, like more old-fashioned, like 1950s sort of soup can looking robots, or is it more organic, like Evangelion, whatever? Huh? This is Patrick. Looking inappropriate. What's looking inappropriate? Oh, this? That's a finger. All right. I'm pretty happy with how this marker is sitting on this the surface, but like I said, I have to make sure that I'm indeed done with this corner before I move on, because it will be very dangerous, very treacherous, as they say, if I move past this and come back, because I'll smear it. All right. Although I kind of can't draw anymore until I do the head and, and figure out exactly where. But you can kind of see what's going on, right? KB Bradshaw, I'm glad you're here to document these important moments. Let's not focus in on the art that's created. Let's focus on the objects that fall to the ground. Oh, yes. All right. All right. I'm starting with the hair. I don't. That's dangerous. I really should do the face. All right. I don't want to get in the way of the camera. Kirihiko gets mad sometimes if she'll like use her Swiss sarcasm. Goes like, "Yeah, that was a great stream, especially of your big head in front of the camera for 14 hours. That part was fantastic, fantastisch." I'm like, anyway. I do want to remind people, this is for a good cause. We're raising money for BINC. It's the Book Industry Charitable Foundation. Raises money for comic book shops that are struggling during this lockdown, and obviously not just the shop owners, but the employees, people that are employees at stores that were furloughed or laid off are able to petition and get relief. Um, and we've been doing this for about a year now, so it's just something that I'll tell you in general during COVID, I definitely have tapped into the more charitable side of myself. Is that possible? Um, and I think just because I'm home, normally you go out like what, once or twice a week, right? See a movie, and I feel like I've seen everything on 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 streaming. I mean, I'm struggling to find a show these days to, you know. Hold on, I need some glasses. Uh, so I feel a little burnt out. Like there's, my wife and I would pick a show. We just try to watch an episode every now and then. So we burnt through 4 seasons of The Crown, which I highly recommend. Burnt through like 4 or 5 seasons of Alone, which I highly recommend as well. Yeah, Merrick 760, Ted Lasso. I've heard good things about it, but we usually try to pick a show that we both like are into, and so we both can have veto the choices. KB Bradshaw, keeping you humble, Jim. It's my job when Kirihiko's not around to do it. Is that what it's called? Keeping me humble? PJ Beiser, thanks for continuing to support booksellers. They're the best. Enjoy your Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to you as well. Thank you both for the bits. D&D Ashdy has subbed using and Comics and Ponies. Good to see you again. Has subbed for 36 months. Amazing. And Trenkilly CFH must have liked what he or she saw and has subbed using Prime. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hey, what was I saying? I can't remember. Oh, all these shows. Like The Flight Attendant. Burned through all that. This Is Us. All caught up to date. We're watching this show called The Hustler. you know, uh, we're just running out of things. We're just like running through all the content. Ooh, now I'm looking at it. Like I can see the ink is bubbling up on the surface, which is in line with the sort of gradient, the texture of it all. So, but at least it has tooth to it, right? If it was a shellacked, um, if it was a shellacked like helmet or something, which I've drawn on, it gets very challenging. You got to hit the same line 3 or 4 times to get something to appear, and the slightest touch makes it smear. This is a little bit more of a semi-gloss surface. What do we got? PM3KS has cheered 5,000 bits with a blue dot next to it. I don't know what the blue dot means, but thank you very much for the very generous bits and cheer. I appreciate it. All the money is being donated to Bink. We're going to tally all the bits, add it together. Okay. So let's do the hair here. And the trick of the hair is just to leave a highlight in the middle to kind of indicate that it is a flowing, organic shape, and it's black and it's glistening, and so the highlight makes the hair look slick. It helps turn the volume, makes it feel three-dimensional, creates texture there by just doing that kind of thing, and blah, 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 blah. Thank you much. Thank you very much, D1 or 10, D101112. Appreciate it. Spence New 52. I did. We did enjoy the flight attendant. It was a lot of fun. The best part of it was Rosie Perez speaking Korean. It's like me speaking Italian. It's fantastic. Fantastisch. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I realize it's late for people on the East Coast. Super late for people in Europe. But it is Saturday. Although, is Valentine's Day only in America? I feel like I should know these things. Kyle Fed Unev. Waited all day for this. I hope I'm not disappointing. It's a lot of pressure. I waited 6 weeks for this stream. Okay. Now, the trick to drawing someone eating is you gotta they gotta be messy eaters. So you gotta put like a couple little crumbs, but you gotta make them look like they're not freckles. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. Tom Cal 98 agrees. It looks great. Thank you. Golden Hands 1. Are you gonna seal with something when it's done? Yes. KB Bradshaw. If you can't donate, that's fine. We'll just think you're cheap. No, don't feel like you have to. That's very encouraging. Yes. He's chewing. Yes, he is. Hello from Pa. Zoom in with your camera so we can get those nice details. Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. That's what the mods do. Mods are like directors. They're like, okay, let's touch the camera and pull it in. Oh, look at that doggy. And there we go. All right. Nutter butters. Don't be rude, Jim. Look, everyone knows. I hope everyone knows that you can pretty much ignore everything I say, and your life will actually be more enhanced. There's like one truth that I speak that actually, if there's anything I want you to walk away with, like if you've watched this stream for like years, you go like, he stopped streaming, but I do remember he did say just draw. That's really the only thing I have. But if you think about it, if that's all you have to say, then you got to be a bit of a, you got to fill the space with something else, right? I just can't say just draw every time, over and over. Deadline Inker, shoot, donated through the link instead of bits. Oh, all right. So yeah, don't worry about it. It's not like I'm not trying to shoot for any goal. Although I probably should have. No, I think it's more important that if you help out, that you do it whatever way possible, right? Whether it's through bits or the direct link, So don't worry about that. It's all good. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We all appreciate it. And I say we, like Bink, stores, all that kind of stuff. Okay. Like his hair is so neatly in place. I do like it when it moves a little bit, right? So let's do that. I don't want it to be like helmet hair, right? a little bit of a Fabio thing going, right? Okay. So we got that, and then cape goes up there. Whoops. Don't look over there. All right. Broke it. PM3KS. No, this artwork goes to Game Over Greggy. So, there we go. All right. Sehr gut. All right. Yeah, okay, let's do this. Okay. Someone asked me before about the nib. It definitely, it will wear it down because you're rubbing, plastic against plastic, right? And so over time, that will degrade the tip. Just same with paper, but just takes longer, right? But I bought a bunch of new markers, so I'm good for the time being. Lethal Brizzle Gaming. I am not adding color. I'm not adding color. It's just black and white. To add color to this, you would have to use acrylic paint. Any of you guys down in Southern California, it feels like it's about to rain. Or as we like to say in Missouri, it's fixing to rain. Can you guys? It is cold. SMCRT. I agree. I was outside this morning. It was quite chilly. I could not get warm, even with a hoodie, which is like the hoodie in Southern California. It's like the equivalent of the down winter coat in the Midwest. And I could not get warm. I was like, stupid hoodie. Okay, ooh, this is going to be tricky. If I go there, then I go here, I got to stop, and oh boy, let's see what happens. Beaumont TX. Oh, another raid. What? SMV raid. What's going on? What is going on? We got a Scum and Villainy Cantina has raided with a party of 61. Hello, Scum and Villainy Cantina. Is this the same Scum and Villainy Cantina that like Mark Bernardin is part of, or is that a different Scum and villainy. Yes, it is. Oh, look. Yes, this is the. Yeah, I've watched the streams. Awesome. All right, welcome in. What can I add to this drawing that would resonate with you guys? Let me guess. Star Wars related. Um, Bitcoin. Yes. What can we add? Bitcoin. Just coming from Fat Man Beyond. Nice, nice. I didn't know they stream. I've seen their on YouTube. Wait, I was on their show. Is that correct, Jim? Was I? Yes, I remember. Wasn't I? Oh, crap. Was I on the show or did I just talk to Mark about it? I don't know. Yes. Yes, a couple months ago. Yeah, trust me. Like this quarantine, like, you know, there's stuff that happened last February that feels like it happened 3 years ago. It's pretty bad. So yeah, let's talk about Scum and Villainy Cantina. Obviously, a reference to Star Wars, but they talk about all sorts of things, and it's an evolution of Fat Man on Batman, which is Kevin Smith's podcast. That he was so kind to invite me on years ago, and so I'll just tell you this story. So I think at the time I was still living in San Diego, but he films it out of his house in L.A. So I drove up, went to his place, and then he has it in like a study room, big long table, and I think I can talk about this. But during the interview, he's like, I'm gonna partake in whatever fire consumable medication, right? And so and we talked for like several hours, but he had like this whole like you know it wasn't just like there were like these packages of pre-made things, and it was like very elaborate. It was very like cutting edge, and cutting edge. What am I trying to say? It wasn't cutting edge. It was there's a lot of product. That's like I don't know what to say. Anyway, so it was we had a great conversation. He got some stuff out of me that I'd never shared before. Stuff I was actually kind of embarrassed to talk about, and but he liked it, and then it turned out he was right. I mean, just goes to show you, like kids, you know, not everything you think is correct. Anyway, and yeah, but so he was smoking while we were talking. Like I said, we talked for hours. Like it was like 3 hours long or something, and what they say about secondhand smoke, it is true. Like by the end, like he's got pretty expressive burn. Yes, Miller burn. I'll tell that story in a second. He's a professional partaker. Yeah, he like his eyebrows are very expressive in general, and I've told him this story like 300 times at this point. But they look like caterpillars. They started moving independently. It was really weird, dude. And I was like, what? It's like a little cartoon, and so I knew there was something going on. And but man, he was eloquent, articulate, smart, funny, and that was pretty impressive. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So Miller Byrne, right? So when I was trying to break into comics, I was living in St. Louis, Missouri. That's where I grew up for the most part as a teenager. As I was trying to break into comics, I was like drawing samples and then mailing them off and then waiting for a response. And at the same time, like, trying to keep in shape. I used to wrestle in high school and college, and so I wanted to, kind of maintain my physique. And so me and my friends, like Brandon Choi, who was co-creator on Wildcats, we go to like Parkway, what was it? Parkway Central Junior High, I think off like 270, and they have like a crappy tennis courts, and we go and play tennis there. The public or for the students, but it wasn't fenced off or anything. But they also had a very basic track, like track and field, and I hate running. I hate long distance running. I hate short distance running. So I think I can just say I hate running, but especially long distance running, I don't have the muscles. Like there's short muscle fibers, long muscle fibers. That's what they say. Anyway, but so I was working out, and I was like, how can I take this working out and use it towards this other purpose of trying to be a better artist and break into comics? Like, they really had nothing to do with each other. And maybe at the time I was like, like this is like work-life balance. It's a good way of blowing off steam, and like not spending, like it's probably very bad for you health-wise to just sit on a desk all the time. And so I knew there was other benefits, but psychologically I was like, well, maybe what if I did this, like, and plus I wanted to just give up just drawing. I mean, or not drawing, running. I wanted to give up running because it was just not making me feel good. I said, like, don't give in, you weak ass, whatever. And so I convinced myself that yeah, fast twitch, slow switch. I don't have either of those muscles actually. So I'm bad at video games and long distance running. Confirmed, 100%. Anyway, so I should do this. I should do the Superman logo. I'm gonna do this in case I do smear it. This will be more absorbent than my hand. So let's see. Okay. So psychologically, I was like, it's one of those things like, well, if I take one more step, if I keep running, maybe I will train myself to thinking like psychologically, because the fear is that you give up on the running because it's just uncomfortable and it doesn't make you feel good and it's hard. And so I was trying to equate the pain of running to sort of the agony and pain of trying to break in, and how do I motivate myself to do both, right? And so the idea was that if I take another step, I'm actually getting closer to my physical goal of running whatever number of miles. And then maybe, like, in terms of where I want to be professionally, I was at a 7, I want to maybe get to a 9. It's a Howard Stern joke. And so, like, yes, Voodoo Magic 5. It is all mental. And because if you had to, you would keep running physically, or there's a lot of stuff that's mental, right? Like giving up is a mental thing. You feel it physically, but mentally you decide like, okay, that's enough. I'm tapping out. Anyway, so I wanted to really sort of self motivate myself. And it was very much like, okay, if I run another foot, that means I'm getting, at the end of this 4-mile run, and it wasn't 4 miles, it was probably like a mile. At the end of this mile, if I can run a mile, let's say that gets me closer to, I'll have to fix that later. Anyway, it's a little slippery, and it's getting a little harder. If I draw too slowly, the grain of the plastic gets in the way, and it throws me off from throwing a smooth line. So that means you got to draw faster on this surface. The only problem is it's already slick because it's plastic, and so it's harder to kind of stop and start. Ugh. Anyway, so yeah, so that was the goal, and it was like, oh, if I take one more step, I'm getting closer to my goal of just physically getting into better shape. And also, if I visualize the goal of breaking into comics as the end of this line, I'm mentally getting myself there. And then the other thing was, and this is where the chant came in, like my two art gods at the time were like Frank Miller and John Byrne. And it was like, okay, not that, like you got to have goals, right? Aspirations. Like, so the goal was like to get on their level and, fail all around. But, it's good to shoot high. And then even if like aim for the moon, and if you end up in orbit, near the Earth, you at least have escaped the Earth's orbit, right? You still manage, right? Aim as high as you can, right? And so I would run and I would be chanting Miller burn with every other step. Um, like that every physical step was getting me closer to this goal of kind of being able to visualize myself as being on their level and whatever. I mean, you know, it's just a motivational tool. And but I always thought that was very a embarrassing to share because of just all the things I just shared with you now in terms of what that really kind of means or the expectations that I might have had for myself. And but did it work? I don't know. I don't know. Would any of this have happened if I didn't? If I just chanted, I'm not gonna go there. I was just gonna chant two like other people's names, uh, but you know, like if I said "poop kid, crispy egg roll," "poop kid, crispy egg roll," where would I be today? So, all right, let's check in with the crew. All right, Peppermint Swirl has hosted with 8 viewers. Welcome in. Tony C. Art, Cougar Cat, Mythasize, have all subbed and support the stream. Anonymous Cheer has donated 100 bits. Thank you very much. SM Cardi 313, 600 bits coming in from San Diego. Thank you. Manny Boy 182 has subbed, and all good. Jaime DL. I think what really helps is running with a partner. I found it easier getting to running that way. Yeah, I guess I've run with people, but yeah. So I chanted Miller Burn, ran my ass off, drew my ass off, and I finally got to the point where I could draw Superman holding a hot dog, being attacked by a dog with a crown on his head, throwing Nutter Butters at him. If this is not God's way of telling me that everything I've done had a purpose, I don't know what is. Okay. All right. We're getting closer. It's 8 o'clock. I got 1 hour. I don't know if I'll make it by an hour. We'll get there. We'll get there. Greg loves Watto. I get the sense that Greg loves a lot of things. Am I going to be able to incorporate everything into? He loves all 50 state capitals. He's very into the United Nations flags. He's also really into different coins of the world. So if you could put a British pound, a Canadian loonie, a stamps of the world, also very big. He's also into uh, curling. If you could put like two Canadian curlers in the background. He loves Mizzou. Yeah, who doesn't? I grew up in St. Louis. I've been to Mizzou. I've actually talked to him about that. He went. I think he went to the School of Journalism there. I want to say, which is like really a fantastic program. But yeah, Mizzou. Yeah, I went there for high school state wrestling championships. That's a humble brag right there. That's my way of dropping in that I went to state. I was the backup water boy, whatever, manager, but we went. We kicked ass. But fond memories of going to Mizzou in Columbia, and I wrestled, what was it, 112 and 119 a lifetime ago. And I remember eating okra for the first time there. And let me just say that if you've never had any, you have not missed out on anything in life. There's that hot dog. All right. What does he like on his hot dogs? Does he like ketchup, mustard, onions, relish? What are we talking about? Wrap the sausage in bacon, Tijuana style, Chicago style. I don't know what Chicago style is. A hot dog with bullet holes in it. I don't know. Chili, sauerkraut, full Chicago pickle, slice and onion. Like if I put too much stuff on it, um, yeah, Bobby Lee was a wrestler. Yeah, yeah. If I put too much on it, it won't look like a hot dog. You know what I'm saying? All right. Are the hot dogs at Portillo? Are the hot dogs at Portillo? Do they have a website? You can go there to see what they put on their dogs. That would be okay. I don't know. Let's make it up. I even put the like little sausage nipple there, or whatever it's called. I don't even know. I'm just gonna guess it's ketchup or mustard. Since it's black and white, you can just decide whatever it's gonna be. And then he's taking a bite, so I gotta. Okay. It's my first Superman holding a hot dog. Oh wait, no, I might have drawn. I think I've drawn him eating a burger before. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so right here, we're gonna do this. How can he not like Nutter Butters, man? Nutter Butters are they're the bomb. They're good, especially if you get them fresh. I got to cheer because of the Nutter Butter. Is that what you're telling me? So that's like a Nutter Butter that was thrown at him. It's like bouncing off because he's the man of steel. And last time I checked, Nutter Butters cannot are not cannot penetrate steel. Kenny Roberts, 84, never had a Nutter Butter. Nutter Butter. Nutter Butters taste like um, peanut butter, and there are Nutter Butters because you can't just eat one. Isn't that the lot? Isn't that how it works? Look at that bicep. All right, let's move over to the doggy. Uh, all right, this is the one I'm looking at. Okay. All right, I want to do justice to the doggy. Sorry, Kirihiko. Uh-huh. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at photo reference, but it's of a hot dog. I'm channeling it into a real dog here. All right. Uh-huh. Okay. All right. So far, so good. Uh-huh. Nose like this. Uh-huh. Okay. Nostrils. All right. Excuse me. Hamiltunes has resubbed for 2 months. Ben Sketchin. Old School GG's has cheered. Thank you very much. Randleton has subbed as well. Appreciate you guys helping out. How does he make a perfect circle on this curved and rigid PS5 cover? What an artist. Thank you, Sofer. Where's the perfect circle? You're talking about this? It's super small. Like, all right. All right. And it looks so nervous. I'm drawing a very nervous looking dog. Um, boy, this is why I don't really draw animals. They look like very skinny people. Uh, okay, sure. Looks like he's smiling. Uh, okay. Okay. And then the ear goes like this and over here. And let's go ahead and do that. And okay. Probably better to bring it into frame. Let's see how do we, okay. All right. All right. He's got kind of a flat head. Oh, I don't mean that in a negative way. The best is like if Greg Giska gets this and he's like, "What is that?" It's happened before. I'm drawing like, "What's this?" It's a drawing of you. Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you. Sure. Thank you. Uh, who is that? Who is this random dog? Yes, yes. Kyle fed Univ. He's gonna be crying out of fear. Aluma Art, hi from Argentina. Love your work. Thank you very much. Can you add Taylor Swift? Um, It looks like Porty. It does. Oh, that's good because I can't undraw this. Okay. I'm trying to make it look like metal, so let's just do like some metal textures here. Can you guys see this? It's a little dark, isn't it? There we go. Let's see what that looks like if I do that. Is that better? Feel better? It's better, no? Could have done that a long time ago. And I can even see better now. It's like, oh, I can see details. Okay. Um, okay. It looks like Queen Elizabeth II. I've channeled it. Porchy. Okay. Oddly smooth, soothing and satisfying. Speaking of details, do you know that plate's texture is made out of the PlayStation symbols? What? I don't get it. I don't think so. They're really small. They're so small I can't see them. How do you know they're not little Rokus? That's what I would have done. It's tiny. Inside on the very edges. I think, yeah, over here I can see more definitive dots that might look like there's something. But on this side, no. Negatory. I think it's here. They mean the controllers. You guys are a bunch of Sony apologists. That's what you are. All right. Tom Dewey, I think you're missing the point of this stream. It's all about them telling me what to draw. That's the fun. It's like, it's like one of those. I can't really English, whatever. Like the fuzzy bear. What are these things called? Hello from India. Good to see you. Crane game. That's what you call them? Crane, the claw machines. Yes. This is like like you guys have this claw and like every now and then it gets a hold of my brain and you're able to lift it and have it do what you want, but most of the time you fail. And that's the fun, right? It's like what can I do to get him to do my bidding? All right. can tell I'm into the when I get really into the drawing piece of it, I stop talking. I've noticed. I don't know if you guys have noticed. That means my mind, every brain cell I have devoted, all 23 of them, all united, powering this piece forward. Okay. Now I got to draw this little Greggy over here. And then the idea is that there are multiple arms. Because if you're going to design a robot body, why would you design it just to have 2 arms and 2 legs? I would put as many as it could possibly fit. Get the maximum mileage out of having a robotics kind of. Okay. What do you guys have planned for Valentine's Day? Correct, KB Bradshaw. Correct. Kind of funny games. Oh, hey, welcome back in. Yeah, this is just the test for the final. I'm just playing around different things, so this is just a concept sketch. Pay no heed. People are so confused right now. They're like, what? Nutter Butters? Greg, I hear that you're your favorite. I learned more about Greg in like 15 minutes of chat than I have in years of knowing him. My Nutter Butter game is falling apart here. Deadline Inker, resting up for when dating season starts the next day. Yeah, what does it mean? We were thinking about like driving up to Yosemite, but you need a pass, a reservation to do that. And they go online like a day or two before, and they sell out like like overnight. I mean, not even faster than that. They sell like out like instantaneously. It's crazy. Spence New 52 had a great dinner and dessert with my wife tonight. ordered bacon wrapped fillets and lobster tails from a catering company along with chocolate lava cake. Dude, can I spend Valentine's Day with you next time? Because that sounds dope. Zzz. Um, what? I'm drawing it upside down just so I don't smear. Zip, 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 zip. That's the sound effects I hear from the zip, 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 zip. So, as you guys know, as you guys know, so in some cultures, throwing shoes at people, like that's a huge insult, right? So I have a feeling this drawing is just, it's a series of inside jokes. Am I drawing in frame? Sorry. There we go. Please say in chat when I'm drawing out of frame or if you need me to move it. Sometimes I get kind of lost in what I'm doing and I forget kind of where I am in the drawing. So this is both about kind of fixing the line, also thickening it up so that it pops off the background. Because there is no color, everything has to be done through values, right? How dark the grays are, whether it's represented by cross-hatching or a solid black. Line thickness is the other variable. And then white out. White out on top of the black will be important later, as you will see. This is really not what I had in mind when I started this, but you know, here we are. KB Bradshaw. Less than an hour to draw, and I'm actually drawing now. What was I doing before? What was that? That was the appearance of drawing, out of frame. The appearance of drawing. Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna pull back the camera for just a second. All right, there we go. Sorry. Someone said like, Jim, how do you get so buff? And I said, bless your heart. And then I said, combo number 3 at Taco Bell, Burrito Supreme, Crunchy Taco Supreme. Can't go wrong. So this is gonna be a combination of like random things from both our communities, if I can use that as a word. Right. Okay. Also get cameras that have they're wide angle, right? So everything on the edges gets larger. So that's the secret, really. All right. So now let's find a picture at Greggy. Oh, there's ones where he's got. Okay. Where's his part? Yeah. Okay. All right. Can you see that? Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. I'm going wrong with the hair. There we go. It doesn't really look like Greg. What am I missing? Maybe the parts up here higher. No, it's the eyes. Uh, don't forget the beard. Yeah, the beard would probably make it look more like him, huh? Let's do the eyes super large. Let's see if that helps. That looks a little closer. Hmm. What kind of beard is this? What is this beard? He'll get there. One must have faith. Okay. The weird thing is I'm drawing him with three fingers, which is very common, like in cartoons. But all the feet are, they have five toes. Four fingers? Yeah, four fingers. Three fingers and a thumb. That's what I meant. I don't even know who that is. Uh, Wunderbar. All right, let's bring it on home. Got like half 40 minutes. You're like, what? How's that possible? You'll see. Well, maybe not. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll all see together. You can find, like, it's interesting, like the board, every now and then you find a part that's very kind of slippery. Kind of speaks to the uneven texture of what we're working on. I was gonna do like lots of like Greggies, but I have another idea which will actually help me deadline wise too. back in. Okay. Just a reminder, like this special Saturday night stream is all about trying to raise money for Bink. So it's charity of my choice. It's the book industry charitable fund, and it's all about raising money for comic book shops in need during this pandemic, and obviously not just the shop owners, but the people that work there who may be furloughed or unable to make a rent payment because their hours have been cut back. And we've raised over $1 million so far, and still going to be doing things through this year because, as far as I can tell, we're going to be in this for a bit longer. And when I say a bit longer, a lot longer, unfortunately. Yeah. Gamer Greggy, they raised like $5,600 or $5,700. So thankful for that whole community and how they kind of pitched in together. It was amazing. Okay. Hello, Grizzly. Micro Grizzly. All right, let's see. Okay. All right. Boom, boom. I've got this figure in the foreground, but I don't know what that is. Hold on a second. I need a villain. Another villain. Excuse me 1 second. Let's stick my head in here because I need to. Uh-huh. Okay. Let me see if I can do this here. Gotta warm up. All right. Done. So, given how fortunate I've been with all this, right? It's all none of it's been smearing, so it's actually been drying, which is great. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can draw something in the foreground. What the heck? Yeah, it just popped up. And sorry, these glasses are great for the farsightedness, so I have to get super close with glasses to see things clearly. It's very strange, I know, but okay, okay. And let's see. Okay. Hey, Clayman Art. Good to see you, man. I didn't know you were on Twitch. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Clayman in the house, as the kids like to say, in the house. Clayman, artist on Batman, Catwoman, Batman for a long time. Great artist. Google him if you are not familiar with his work. It's fantastic. Love it. Clay is working on a deadline, but I know he's here to get inspired. Calling him out. He's taking a break because he just crashed through a bunch of pages. That's usually how it works, right? So, what the heck? All right. Wow, it's really windy here. This character really looks like Homer Simpson to me. Uh, Hard enough. Someone asked how hard it is drawing the surface. It's not as hard as drawing on a curved helmet. I've drawn on like a motorcycle helmet before. Not as hard as that, but definitely harder than a flat piece of paper. Should he have his little helmet on? It's an interesting looking creature. I'm not sure exactly what it's supposed to look like. Hmm. Okay. I think I got enough of them down. So in things like this, there's not never just like one bit of reference that suffices for. Should I put that helmet on him? Helmet? No helmet. Helmet? No helmet. No helmet. Got it. How did I get my? I have a PS5. This is not mine. This is Greg's. I got PK helped me get mine. Way to go on the dark web. I don't even know what that means. I just like to say it. I'm looking. I guess that. What a strange looking creature. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. All right. So look how the ink's beating up there. So that's a sign that there's probably oil from my hand that's gotten on there, is my guess. So let's do this. If I had a large eraser, I would. Here we go. Okay. See how it just takes that ink right off? Okay. All right. Let's try that again. Gonna have to draw it several times to get it to show up. Let's zoom in here. What have I been playing lately? I got too much work. I don't. I get these things for my kids. But I have a PC right here, so I'm more of a ASD mouse controller kind of guy. Like I've played Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, like on both. It's just weird holding the controller, and for whatever reason, it's probably all the years I played MMOs on a PC. Just used to moving, you know, my character around using a mouse and a keyboard, aiming and shooting that way. But my kids play the Spider-Man games. They like the Spider-Man games. Yeah, we can talk video games. You guys are all, a lot of you who are from the game of Greggy. Yeah, let's talk about games. I am old enough to have to remember the very my dad bought me and my sister Pong the game. It was a black console about this big with two dials, and you hook up to your TV with black and white image, and it had a bar that one player moved up and down, and the other player moved the other bar, and then there was like a tennis court and a little white ball, which was square and would bounce back and forth. And if you missed it and got past you lost a point. And that entertained us for hours. And then that slowly moved on to like those uh, handheld console games where your football was like three lanes, a bright red dot, two dimmer red dots, and you basically maneuvered in with the ball to try to score. same exact dots screen racing cars. So it was the sound that would create the illusion of what you were doing, but it was literally just like a red dash. Yeah, that's right. Give me like donate cheer, a sympathy cheer. So here's like this is the dot that's holding the ball, and here's the dot of a defender and another defender. And so you would quickly move your dot in between to evade the people that want to tackle you. Yeah. But then that finally things got a little bit better, and then I was like spending my times at the bowling alley or the shopping mall. My mom would drop me off. I'd usually start at like Walden Books or DB, like DB, no, Dalton Books, I think. And they usually had like a graphic novel section, and I would just like basically sit in there for hours reading comic books for free while my mom shopped. And then I would have maybe a couple of dollars, and I'd go to the arcade and I would play Space Invaders and Missile Command, and my all-time favorite game, which is Defender, which I have here. I have the stand-up console game here at the house, and also a big fan of Robotron. If any of you guys remember Robotron 2080, was it 2084? Yeah, 2084. Yeah, none of those things are around, right? And uh, I was just fascinated with the concept of defender because if you were good enough, you could play forever on a quarter, and I never did. I never turned over that machine. Um, but I've gotten the hundreds of thousands as a score. But I've seen, I used to go to the bowling alley and just watch these like pinball wizards literally just sit there with a cigarette, one quarter play, go from 20, zero. You get a free ship and bomb, a smart bomb every 10,000 points, and they would play till they got to 999,000 or whatever, and then everything you hit gave you a free ship and a smart bomb every point, and you just accumulated time. And then once you rolled over to a million, you got no more free ships or um, smart bombs. But they would literally play for hours, you know, on a quarter. So yeah, um, so yeah, and it's a very challenging game. You know, it had a knob, a reverse button, thrust, fire, smart bomb, hyperspace. You know, it was ahead of its time. I feel like Stargate was good too. That was a sequel to it, but it kind of took away some of the charm of it all. And so I'm not as big of a fan of it. I mean, I don't mind playing it, but it is a different game, and I wouldn't advocate going through the Stargate. I don't think it really helps you. Robotron's a lot of fun, just two joysticks that you just move around, but it's just like Carnage, and it's just these impossible situations where there's thousands of robots coming at you, and you got to save the family, and it gets a good adrenaline rush playing that game. So um, that was like the my teenage years. And then with the advent of oh my god, this is so old. With the advent the advent of the personal computer, and I'm talking about not the Apple II or the Apple or the Lisa or any of the. I didn't. My parents did not indulge me in that way. But if it was for school and educational purposes, they're all for it. But if I said, "Hey, I want this Apple II so I can play a game," they were not down. They just were not into that. So in 1984, I was a junior in college, and the Apple Classic came out. I should put it on stream sometime. I still have it, still fires up, and it's a disc, and the disc basically ran the memory was on the disc, and it was 120. No, there was internal memory of 128 kilobytes, and then you had a floppy disk of another 128, which had the programs, and then you saved onto the disk. And if you power went out while you were in the middle of writing a paper and you hadn't saved, you'd lose everything. And that happened to me once. I lost like 20 pages or something. But I got it because in college I had to write a bunch of theses, junior papers. So like my thesis was about 90 pages long, and so and I used to write everything with a typewriter in college, right? So if you had a term paper, you get your books, your notes. I'd find like an empty classroom in like the physics building. They were open all night, right? There's no security. All the dorms, no keys necessary. This is ancient times, and I would just go in there because I couldn't do it in my room because of my roommate wanted to sleep or whatever. I was all into like all nighters. I would heavy procrastinator, still am, and I would just go in with the typewriter, sheets of paper, and crank out 15 pages or 20 pages overnight on a topic, right? And then getting a I was a psychology major, December winter, and then you know getting a personal computer changed everything, right? Like you could now revise. You didn't have to like use whiteout to correct things. It was, retype things if you mangled it too badly, and so that was a huge thing. And then I remember seeing, gosh, I don't even know how I found this, but there was like somebody. I was going to school in Jersey, and there was some guy, you know, some Russian dude in the village or downtown New York City, Manhattan, who was upgrading computers on his own. It would void your warranty, but he could upgrade you to 512. And I remember taking my computer in, and he basically soldered in. So my computer's been modified to 512. Um, you know, 512 bits of RAM or whatever, and yeah. And so that was kind of my start. Computers. Got a PC, trashed it a bunch of times, bricked it a couple times, I think. Just I learned through trial and error. So I'd go into the registry and mess with things because I don't know why. But then all of a sudden it would stop working. I'm like, okay, bad. Restart everything. And so on the Macs, and I would have like every iteration of the Mac, Mac lab books, the Cube. I had a Cube, the iMac, all that stuff. They had that game. What's it called? Myst, MYST, right? Kind of a puzzle game that you kind of move through a 3D environment. That was pretty cool, pretty fun. I talked about Zork, a text-based adventure game, and I played that in college. Stayed up all night, like 2 nights or something to finish that. But there weren't a lot of games in general. And so, um, and then later with the PC, I got into Ultima Online. So that was my gateway drug, MMO, and Joe Madureira, who's a game developer now, but started as a comic book artist. He and I were friends, kind of over games, really, and he got me into Ultima Online. Spent a ton of time playing that game, um, and learned sort of the power of online community there. And then um, And then when EverQuest came out, he's like, dude, we got to jump on EverQuest. This is the next wave out. And I was like, I don't know, dude. The graphics look a little flat to me, and it's so weird doing everything first person, and it's so dark, and But then we invested time into it, got into it, created characters, ran along hillside tops, got eaten by wolves. Cross continents by just basically, using our wits. Most of our adventures were like probably spent retrieving our corpses because in that game, if you died, you lost all your stuff unless you went back and retrieved it within a set period of time. I think it was like 24 or 48 hours or something. Create a lot of anxiety amongst players, right? You put in months of time to get stuff, good stuff, and then either through a bug or a bad group you wipe in a zone or deep in a dungeon, like, and that game was buggy, right? There's a lot of, you know, you'd sit down on the ground in a like a dungeon like Upper Guck or something, and I don't know if there's any people that played EverQuest there. I'm just talking to myself, and so you sit down to like meditate, and then it would aggro monsters on the floor below, and then they would run. Good night, Lethal Brizzle Gamering. Um, and they would aggro every mob on the way up to the floor you were sitting on, and you'd have like, and they would all like be yelling at your name, like, how dare you defile our lands. And there were so many, it looked like a mutated monster, like all these different heads, like basically sticking out of the same body, because there's so many of them, and they would just like drill you and just hammer you, die like almost instantly. And yeah, it was a hard game. And then World of Warcraft came along, and I played that, but not with the same level of passion as EQ. And EverQuest, I was in it to the point where I was two boxing, right? You guys, right? You know what that is. So I bought a second PC, or a new. I bought a new PC. I remember like upgrading my PC specifically so I'd have better fidelity or better gameplay. I'd upgrade my baud modem, right? 28 baud modem to 56, just so I could have a better dial up. I once dialed into a raid while I was on a business trip to London and spent like $200 in in hotel fees connecting to an American server, and it was just so the lag was so immense. Like we were all just facing. Well, I was just facing the wall, and I would like keep getting discoed like every 5-10 minutes, you know. But I was way into it, and then yeah. So if you two box, you're playing two characters at once, and so I'd like have like a healer, and then like my main and you play them side by side, and and then I even bought a character. Like I was in a guild, and like this guy was going to retire, and so he sold his account, and he was like a assistant professor of biology, like at Stanford or something. I mean, that's how I found out because I bought it from him, and so I had to mail him the check, and so I got his address. This is pre Venmo, right? And I found out who he was or whatever, and I think I spent like $1,200 or $1,600 buying this level 60 priest healer because they were like gold, right? For raids. You needed them, right? So you could two box the healer for the raid. And then I think several months later he contacted me back and said, "Look, I regret like kind of quitting the game. Can I buy back my character?" So I just sold it back to him for what he charged me. So, but you're into it when you're willing to spend that kind of money on a virtual thing, and that's why I kind of like, to me it's like when I see my kids like spending money on skins, or I've spent money on skins or whatever. Like to me, I see value there. Like, you know, some people don't understand it, but I get it. But I like to say that all that effort and hours and money spent, it did really kind of teach me a bit about the game space and what makes these things compelling. And so out of that, I was able to parlay the insane number of slash hours played into a executive creative role on the DC MMO game, right, with Sony. And I got to meet. Well, even before that, I was at the very first. The company's based in San Diego, and that's where I lived. And they hosted the first kind of fan get together for EverQuest back in the day at like Carl Strauss Brewery. And I remember going and meeting John Smedley and Brad McQuaid, and became friends with Brad. And so and then it led to this amazing opportunity to work on DC Universe Online. So, I do feel like, and certainly not just the games, but like everything that I've really had a passion for and spent crazy hours, whether it's reading comic books, drawing pictures, or whatever, I've been able to kind of turn into a little bit of my livelihood. And so, as they say, you really follow your passions because you're just gonna be the happiest. I think. You know, I'll just tell you, like if you get into something because you're trying to make money, and I feel like an old man at this point, and I can share this with you. If you do that, you're just never going to be happy because you're going to find out that there's no amount of money that's going to make you happy, right? You can make a ton of money, and you'll still need or want a ton more. It is a unfortunately kind of a black hole that cannot be filled, right? So if you're going to spend crazy hours doing something, whether it's creating something, drawing something, creating a game, or like do it because you love it, you know, because it is very satisfying, I think, to be able to kind of visualize something, ideate something, whether it's a story or a concept, and then bring it to life, and then share it with people, and see their kind of same, see them react to it in a positive way. It's that's where the real gold is. I feel like I need that PSA music, like that shooting star. Grand Admiral Burtis, welcome in. Good to see you. John Boucher, are you psyched for Pantheon? Ever since Brad's untimely death, I haven't kept up with it. So, I was doing like beta runs with him and stuff like that. They're still working on it, I assume, and I would love to see it. You know, okay. Um, yeah, it must be getting late for some of you guys. 6 a.m. hype. Where is it 6 a.m.? Oh, in Europe, right? Gohaku. Brad McQuaid. He was one of the creative visionaries behind EverQuest and the upcoming Pantheon game. The Amazing Peep. Every time I draw, I always put up a Jim Lee YouTube video on demand. It's just so calming, and I just love drawing with people. Yeah, thanks. I'm glad I'm able to accompany some of you guys on these journeys. Yeah, thanks. Oh, look, the first smear right here. Okay, got to be careful. All right. All right. Let's see. Let's put the cape in here. And all right. And then there's going to be some sort of background. So let's just go ahead and do that real quick. Ooh, it's 9:01 already. All right, let's. I know my wife ordered some late dinner, so I might have to end this soon. But I will show you kind of where it's going, and then I'll post the final at the end of the day, right? So the idea is, okay. He's looking at a pile of feet and Nutter Butters, things that torment both Greg and myself. And then there'll be black. They'll finish that with some black shadows in there, and maybe some black skies up here with splatter with some stars to kind of bring some large black shapes to it because everything is so gray and sort of light. So I'm gonna, let's see. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to take a break because I've got we got Chinese soup dumplings coming, and those do not, they congeal, and you don't want to eat them later. So they are expecting me. So I'm gonna have to jump off, but I will finish this tonight. I will post up the results. I want to thank you guys for accompanying me on this 3-hour journey, and I hope that Greg likes it. I think I had a lot of fun interacting with you guys and coming up with this very odd drawing. And it's certainly not what I was envisioning when I started. I really was going to just draw Superman bursting out of the side of the PS5, and you can see sort of the guts of it behind him. That was something I felt I could do in 3 hours. You guys pushed me to do something insanely bizarre, and it's going to take more time. But I do see the finish line. I can see where it's going, and then there's going to be black ink up here, and then splatter. And I'll take some. I'll take some whips, works in progress. So I'll post those up so you guys can see them online, so you won't feel like you missed out. Rock and roll aim 207 cheer. Thank you very much. While drawing, do you have any advice on that? I'm not sure what you mean. Procrastinate, Tim Sang art, Lindork's art, Forma Born, Zhao Yu, Clayman art. Thank you guys all for subbing. Thank you guys for tuning out, and thank our mods. We got Crispy Egg Roll in the house, ever diligent, great person, really cares about this community, and has really been played a pivotal role in keeping this a sane and fun experience. And then, of course, our own PK, our Raconteur. No, he's our PS5 dealer, Xbox One X dealer. Awesome guy, fantastic gamer, and friend to all. So, thank you guys for tuning in. We are gonna raid somebody, I think. So let me see if there's someone here in that you guys. No, no. Do you have someone, Crispy, that you guys, or PK, that we would take our crew and go in? And I want to thank you guys for the donations to Bink. Hopefully, we've been able to raise some cash for them. It's a great cause, supports local comic book shops. I don't want this to fall down. So we will, once I have a person that we're going to usually try to find another creative. And I am at Instagram.com/Jim Lee, and that's where I will post the additional whips. And I'm going to finish those up tonight and get this done. So thanks for checking it out. PK, Crispy, you guys don't have someone you want to raid? Let me see. What else can we talk about? Hopefully you guys learned something. Maybe you're inspired by something. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to use whiteout and make it mostly white so you don't see the eyes. And what should I put on his shirt? Is there something specific to his shirt that might be worth drawing attention to any suggestions, guys? You know? Sorry. PK and Crispy are putting NSFW sites to to rate. We're not going to do that. The smiley logo, wild aces on the shirt. P.S. I love you. The kind of funny face is that side face there. Okay, hold on. If I just Google it, that should pop up, right? Let me just take a quick screenshot here. There we go. All right. I'll put the smiley face on there. That one I can definitely put together. Oh, I know this person. All right, let's go check it out. All right, thank you very much, guys. Take care. I will see you on the other side of this raid that we're going to go on.